buying a set of wheels for your car, most people focus on all the wrong things. So let's clear that up right now. Here are 5 things that you absolutely do not need when you buy your set of wheels. All right, so let's start with number 1. You do not need the widest, largest wheel with the lowest offset. You need the right one. Everyone's chasing that perfect stance, wide, low, aggressive. I get it. But here's the thing. In reality, 9 times out of 10, the wheel that offers the best functionality, ride quality, and performance will make you love your car every single drive. And that is of the top importance of your wheel selection, I promise you. And while we're here, let's touch a little bit on construction. Now don't get me wrong, forged wheels, flow-form wheels, cast wheels, they all have their place. Each has pros and cons, and better isn't always better for you. If you're gonna be daily driving or doing the occasional track day, a quality flow-form wheel is gonna hit that sweet spot between strength, weight, and cost. That's a big combination package that's gonna give you the most enjoyable amount of wheel. Going full forged when you're not pushing the limits, that's just extra money. And don't get me wrong, I love a good set of forged wheels. Now, flow forming, we've talked about this before, in my opinion, offers you the best bang for the buck. But don't get me wrong, we have forged wheels just in case you want to do this. And if you're going to do this, just keep in mind what you're doing and what it's going to cost you. Because going full forged when you're not pushing the extra limits, it may just be costing you extra money. Now, unless of course you're looking for that design or that flex factor. But look, if that's what you're looking to do and that's what you want, just go for it. Just make sure that you're buying it for you and not for the comment section. Now, number 2 may be a slightly arguable and unpopular opinion, but you do not need the internet hype or brand clout. Some people buy wheels like they buy sneakers, all logo, no logic. Let's put an end to that, my friends. And I'm not saying that because it's regarding our brand. I'm just saying it because I see a lot of people out there that are so focused on what that wheel says or what it stands for that they're not thinking about how much money they're spending on these wheels or just making sure they're getting a good quality wheel that meets their needs. A name on the spoke doesn't mean strength in the metal. And what really matters is real engineering, proven legacy, and a company that stands behind its products. When it comes down to brands, especially wheel brands that have been around for decades, it's not an accident. That's experience, consistency, and testing that's been earned over time. Look at who's still supporting customers years later. Who answers the phone? Who carries replacement parts? And who actually cares about their customers? These are going to be the companies that you actually will find so much more value in beyond the wheel that you are just going to be flabbergasted when you try to pick up something else after an experience like this and realize that you just feel like something's missing. And one of the other things about a company that's been around for a long time is they are very conscious about making sure that your safety is number 1. And that means that they're going to test wheels obsessively. Their FEA, their actual physical tests, these are the things that are going to separate the companies that are importers from the companies that are manufacturers. This is where the big boys sit at the table and do something right. Make sure you're doing something right with them. All right, so number 3 is pretty important, but I feel like it's so obvious and people overlook it, and that's that you don't need to guess what fits your car. There is no such thing as a universal fit. So if I ever hear you say universal fit, there may be one of those big,
Oh, wow! Wow!
All right, and let's also keep in mind that a lot of these cars are coming with big brake kits, or if you've gone to an aftermarket big brake kit, or you're thinking about doing an aftermarket big brake kit, good companies, especially companies like us, ding ding. These are companies that you can always email or give a call, and they'll be able to help you check to make sure before you go invest your time and your effort into these wheels that they actually clear. Because look, I think we've all been there as car people. It's a pretty sad day when you spend all that money, get your wheels in, really excited about them, go to test fit, or even worse, you've already mounted them on tires, and when you go to put them onto the front of your car, they crash on the caliper. All right, so number 4 is something you definitely don't need when you're buying wheels, and that's to ignore load rating. If you are hearing the words load rating and kind of feel like they sound familiar, but you're not exactly sure what it means, let me explain one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they buy their wheels, and that has to do with not thinking about the load rating when they're buying their wheels. Now, what is load rating? Load rating is essentially how much a wheel can hold statically on that given corner. Now, if you want to know how much you need, when you choose a wheel, as far as what the load rating should be, all you have to do is open up the front door, look at the placard that's right there. It will tell you front and rear, and that usually means what the axles are. All you have to do is take the heaviest axle weight, divide by 2, make sure your wheel has a load rating that exceeds that, and you are in the green, period. That's all you have to do. But look, as cars get heavier, especially when we talk about SUVs, EVs, and some of the trucks, I mean, hell, even sedans are getting heavier because they're putting more tech into them. You need to make sure that your wheel is capable of holding that weight, and you don't want to skimp here. And a lot of people get confused when they look for especially lightweight wheels because they ignore that load rating. And by ignoring the load rating, you can get a really lightweight wheel that just doesn't hold shit. So let's not do that. Let's hold shit and find the right load rating. So for a full breakdown of load rating, you can go right here, and we've already laid it out for you. You don't need to cheap out on tires or picking the wrong wheel finishes. All right, let me explain. When it comes down to picking tires for your build, a lot of people would rather spend $2,000 on wheels and $50 on tires, and that just doesn't mix. These are the things that touch the road. So while we're a wheel company, we're still advocating for a good, solid, quality tire. Now, there are inexpensive or cheaper versions, alternatively, of tires that still have a good compound, a good reputation, and are a good tire that are safe and able to be put on your car without spending big dollar tire money. Make sure that when you're picking tires, pick the right ones. Make sure that they work for you, make sure that they're safe, and they match up with the environment and use that you are going to be putting these wheels through on your vehicle. Because just remember, my friends, it's not about how good it looks today, it's how well it holds up next year. Listen, we appreciate you coming in here. We hope that you understand that you don't need all the hype, you don't need the extreme sizing, you don't need all these shortcuts. So don't let the internet bully you. If you are looking for something that has all the wheel, low offsets, big lips, all that stuff, and you're prepared to suffer through it, go for it. Go ahead with it. It is your prerogative. But understand that if you're that everyday person, if you're the person that wants to make sure that they have the most functional use of their wheel and tire by going just a little bit aggressive and making sure that your car looks good and is really tough looking, but it's not overly done to the point where you're going to suffer every time you drive your car, well then think about what I said here, my friends. I don't know what else to say, because the best setups don't just look right, they just work. That's it. I'm Scott from Koenig. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you, and we will catch you in the next one.